I can't be spending too much time just gabbing like this. I'm going to do a quick preview why I'm doing this. So Next Fest is coming up in October. I think it's like in a couple days is like your dropout date and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to go through. They're changing Next Fest big time, and I want to talk about it. So here's the way it's going to go. This is what this meeting is. Now, real quick, to celebrate this, 24 hours, I'm going to discount the masterclass for $100 off. I'm gonna knock off $100 off of off of my wishlist class. So click the offers tab, or if you're watching this on YouTube, go down to the comment section or the description. You click that coupon code. It only lasts 24 hours. So this time tomorrow, it's $100 off. How to do the masterclass, like how to do wish lists and all that kind of stuff. That's all it is. I'm just doing it just to celebrate this Next Fest stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go real quick how the algorithm works generally for Steam. Okay, generally Steam is like 5,000 wish lists get you access. It's kind of like this is how high it takes to walk. You know, like the rides. You have to be this tall to get this ride. Now the reason they do that is there's like this asset flip sludge that is right here, and the reason Valve kind of does this 5,000 limit is to limit the sludge that goes through Steam. So because asset flippers don't typically get 5,000, 7,000, somewhere around there. I don't know what it specifically is. Nobody knows. It depends on your competition. That's why if you say 7,000, you're safe. If it's 5,000, that's risky. So it's Bayesian. It's not an exact number. Okay? And that's to stop the sludge so that you rise out of that. Now, this is generally how all the algorithms that Steam likes, that Valve likes, okay? They love it when we'll give you a little bit. So if you get the 7,000, you get Popular Upcoming. If you do well in Popular Upcoming, you typically will also get, I mean, everybody gets in the Discovery queue, and I'll talk about this. And then if you do well there, you're probably also going to get new and trending, and then you're going to just move up the algorithm, okay? That's how Valve likes their algorithms. They like this little thing where, like, we'll give you, you prove it to us, you give a little bit, and if you do that, we'll give you a free taste, and if people like that free taste, we'll keep giving them more tastes of your game. We'll distribute your game. It's kind of like, not exactly, but it's kind of similar to the old, the old Mortal Kombat, like, if you do well here, you got to move up the tournament, up here. What would the top be? The top is you get to retire at age 31, make questionable purchases, buy like a candy wall. That's kind of how it works. Okay. And this is very specific for the Discovery queue. I've noticed when you launch your game, you get free Discovery queue traffic. And the charts very much look like this, okay? This is what the charts typically look like. You basically get 6,000 free views on day one of the Discovery queue, every game that launches, okay? And what I've found after studying this, if you don't do too well in that 6,000, Valve kind of goes, thanks for playing, and they just start tapering your Discovery queue traffic. If your game hits and people are buying it and playing it a lot and recommending it to friends, I've seen this Discovery queue double the traffic every time. And I've seen games go 6,000 the first day, 12,000, then 24. Like, they basically double the traffic every day. Now, some games top out at 12. They might go 2 days, and then Valve goes like, you kind of lost out. And then they taper off your traffic after that. This is a very classic, like I say, they give you a little bit. If you do well, they give you more and more and more. A lot of algorithms on Steam, and even like TikTok, actually kind of work this way. Okay? That's how you just kind of have to understand this stuff, okay? Now, where am I getting to with this? Like, you're like, Chris, this is a Next Fest Q&A, okay? Okay, here it is. This is what it is. Asset Flip Sludge. This is how the Steam Next Fest, before this, the old Steam Next Fest algorithm worked. It was like this. There was the Asset Flip Sludge, and then middle-class indies were actually thrown into the sludge pile. And to get into these, there were two major widgets that everybody was trying to get into. The trending games, trending demos, trending games, and most wishlisted. That was the only way to get the premium visibility. And to get into trending, you basically had to have 20,000 wishlists in 2 weeks. Sometimes even it was like towards the end, it was like in the first 2 days before Next Fest, you had to get like 20,000 wishlists. And that's what got you into trending. It was hard. It was very hard. And most wishlisted, by the end of the last Next Fest, it was like 150 minimum just to show up in most wishlisted. So it was basically, the bar was so high that the sludge level was like so high that nobody got visibility unless you were these top, maybe like 10 to 15 games at Next Fest. It kind of sucked. It sucked. But that, it was like, that basically you must be this tall. Instead of being 7,000 wish lists for Next Fest, it was like 150,000. That's like the limit. Okay, so what does this mean? It just isn't how Steam likes to do things, because what they found was what we would do, the basic marketing strategy that we had to do to get here, is you're making like that plasma where you're firing every laser you had at a single point in time and a single point in space, and hopefully create that plasma ball to get that 20,000 wish lists right here in those like 1 to 2 days before the start of Next Fest. It was not good, not fun. We had to do it because that's what the algorithms prioritized. It wasn't fun, okay? So everything I'm going to talk about is theoretical. I don't know if this is how it's going to be working. I'm just reading between the lines. I'm interpreting what the gods have told us, and these gods are the Valve employees. They just published this Q&A from August. They just published it a few days ago publicly on YouTube. Here it is. Okay, go find it. Just search Next Fest Q&A August 2024. You'll find it on YouTube. Just find it. Watch it. It's mostly good. A lot of the same questions. That's the bad part. It's the same questions over and over again. Okay, this is what they were saying. I'm pulling out the good parts. We are changing how Next Fest is organized. The homepage will be a bit refreshed. Improve the discovery process. We have new ways of recommending games to players. Da-da. Very cool. Okay, here's this is the real quote. These are the good quotes. Make it even as possible so that every game can have a chance to find its audience at Next Fest, and then once we start to get more data on which games people are interacting with, we can use that to make smarter recommendations to help people come to Next Fest, okay? This is the money quote. This is the real quote. We are having as much of it as possible be random so that every game, whether you've just put up your store page and your demo and you have no wish list, or whether you've had a store page up and you have 1 million wish lists, we are going to be treating those games the same initially on Next Fest, okay? And then finally, when players first come to Next Fest, the experience will be that Next Fest is going to recommend them games based on the tags on those games and how they relate to other games that they've been playing. They're also going to be a section that are just randomized regardless of what they play. I just was clipping the audio verbs, the verbal of these. Oh, so I know it doesn't quite read right. It's just because people speak different than they've written. Okay. There are also going to be a section where they just randomize regardless of what they play. Okay. As we get further into Next Fest and we start to see more data about the random games, they've started wishlisting them. They stated playing the demos, which are the ones that people are responding more positive to. Then those might be amplified in some ways within Next Fest. This is the magic words. So this is the quote from that YouTube video I was just talking about, okay? Everyone should get an equal start. Over time, we can learn which games people are more interested in and hopefully help target those games a bit more specifically to players. Okay. Now, I just taught you how Steam, Valve likes their algorithms, and this is my interpretation of what's going to happen, okay? This is my interpretation. Let me show you. Okay, so I think it's going to work similar to Discovery Queue the way it works now on Discovery Queue. They're going to give everybody some free random traffic. Like, everybody gets something. Like, I found the free random traffic. Remember how I said everybody, when you launch your game, gets like 6,000 views from the Discovery Queue? Everybody does. Similar. This is sounding similar. I don't know if this is how it's going to work. This is all theoretical. But knowing how the algorithm works before, what they like, to knowing what they just said, I have a feeling they're going to give everybody like 6,000 views. I'm just picking 6,000, some number. I don't know what it is, okay? All right, they're going to give everybody. And if you perform well in that first 1 day, 2 day, who knows how long they're going to do it. If you perform well, all right, here, if they perform well, you're going to move up, and they're going to give you more visibility. Like the next couple of days. Remember how he said there's going to be a second day, a second transition, the second part. Once we see some data, then we're going to prioritize. I have a feeling there's going to be a flipping day somewhere on Steam Next Fest. All of a sudden, the algorithm's going to change. There's going to be new widgets that pop up or something, and we're going to take that first couple day performance, and they're going to be like, oh, all these games did very well with their 6,000, and we're going to promote them games more. And the games that were like, we gave them 6,000, and nobody played it. People played it for 5 seconds, and then they deleted the game forever and ever, and then it's like, ugh. Those games aren't going to get the visibility. So, this, I don't know. But this is my theory based on reading between the lines and knowing how the existing algorithm works, okay? A couple other things are going to change. No longer doing that live stream featuring. Thank God. I think they realized, they were like, developers do not want to be show people like on the front page of Steam. Why did we require that? So they're pretty much burying that in the algorithm. So don't worry about a live stream. There's no special benefit. It was such a hassle every time you had to say, well, what are my two? When should we pick our streaming times? When should we do this? Don't do that anymore. No longer doing a fun live stream. And I feel bad. They always like dress up in costumes and they're like, welcome to Next Fest. They're not even going to do that anymore. They're just like, nope, it's algorithms. This is back to Steam, classic Steam. Take the people out of the equation. It's all about the algorithms. So we're not doing any fun live streams, which I always feel bad. I liked watching the live streams where Valve like did some little jig or something. I don't know. They said something about something called trailer TV. I don't know what it is. They just said trailer TV. I don't know what that is. That tells me get a good trailer up. And then they're going to randomize and themed widgets. That's what they were talking about. This is, I think, the free visibility they give to test you out. So I'm going to transition to Q&A. Okay? So pop your questions in the Q&A tab. Don't pop your questions in the main chat. I will not read those just because it's too long. Pop them in the Q&A. But here's 2 questions. Don't ask these because I'm going to tell you the answer. Everybody always asks these 2 questions. I'm going to give you the answers right now so you don't have to ask them, okay? Here's the 2 questions. Should we drop out of Next Fest? And it's always some variation of this. They're like, our trailer isn't quite ready. We're not sure if our game's going to be ready. We still have to get approvals. We're not sure. Our code doesn't work. If there's all this hemming and hawing around, we're not sure. We think, when's the last day we can drop out? Because we're not totally sure. If you have any doubt, drop out. Just drop out. Okay? Do it. Just drop it. You don't have to ask. Just drop out. Now. Just drop it out. If you're coming in, like you're on the line, you might not make it. Just drop. Because, remember, my theory is the algorithm is going to be very, it's going to watch your first 2 days a lot. And if you underperform, if your demo's coming in hot, that means you're going to have bugs. You're going to have bugs. And it's not going to be play tested, and like the boss is going to be too hard, and the dialogue's going to be janky. Something's going to be awful, and people get turned away in those first couple days where they're listening to you, seeing the algorithm, whether the people are playing and liking your game or not. And if you underperform, then your Next Fest is going to go bad. So if you're having problems, just drop out. Next Fest should not be the first time people play your demo. It should not. So what I'm saying is, for everybody's asking, like, well, should I do that? Should I? Yes, drop out because you want to do a play test first, a beta. I'd even say, and this is controversial, I'd say launch your beta months in advance. You want the people you want to get feedback on that beta, see if it's good or not. And then once your beta is good, then do Next Fest. Next Fest should not be the first time you have contact with the players. It should not. Do not do that. Don't. Wait, because this is the way the algorithm's doing. They're going to test you in that first couple days. And if your game's never good the first time, so you got to get that feedback. So just don't. Don't even ask a question. Yes, you should drop out. If you're even on the fence, drop out. Okay? Wait. There's more time. There's more Next Fest. There's October, February, June. There's plenty of Next Fest coming up. You'll be much better. All right. How do we get featuring in the official Next Fest trailer? Okay, so there's this trailer where it's like, Next Fest, and then they're like, we've got RPGs, and then there's like a picture of a guy playing an RPG. They clip a game that's an RPG, and it's like some guy swinging a sword, and they're like, we got platformers. And then they just grab some platformer that looks really good, and they show the platformer. People are always so crazy about this. Like, how do I pay? Who at Valve do I contact to get into this trailer? What do I do to get in the trailer? How do I make sure my game gets in? It doesn't matter. This trailer doesn't matter. The thing is, there's this thing where it's like, I think it's now, maybe this is the last time, they want you to drop out or confirm that you're going to be there, and you'll get notified that your game is going to be clipped in the trailer, like they're going to grab a segment of your game. And they want to make sure that your game's actually in Next Fest. Listen, folks, this trailer doesn't matter. Yes, Valve is going to say, hey, you're sure you're going to be in this fest? Because we're going to clip your trailer. It doesn't matter if you're in the trailer. This trailer does no visibility for you. It's just a random collection. Even in the Q&A that I showed, they were like, well, we have to advertise something for Next Fest, and we can't just show our talking heads, so we're going to show some exciting gameplay. But this trailer never gives you this official Valve trailer. People care way too much about this trailer, and they bend themselves over backwards. They're like, well, we didn't get in the trailer. Should we drop out of Next Fest so we can get into the trailer next year? It doesn't matter. The trailer just gives you, like, zero visibility. People have way too much mental energy on this trailer. Just pretend the trailer doesn't even exist. Please, don't make any strategic decisions, whether you got into the trailer or not, or if you did get into it, don't expect all this stuff to happen. It will not happen. The trailer doesn't matter. So don't ask any questions about the trailer. I promise the trailer does not matter. The official Next Fest trailer doesn't matter. Okay? Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't help you in any way. Okay? So here's generally, before I get to the Q&A, so pop your questions in the Q&A tab, except for those two questions, whether you should drop out at Next Fest, yes, and whether what you should do to get into the official trailer, it doesn't matter. As long as your questions are those two, pop them into the Q&A tab, and then tag. Okay, so here's my general advice for Next Fest. Not knowing exactly how it's going to work, I'm overanalyzing and interpreting what's going on. I would say tag your game. Make sure it's perfect. Your tags are perfect. And you can take my How to Make a Steam Page class, all about tags. Because they said we are going to use your tags to show your game to people who really like that thing. So make sure you're targeting your audience with those tags perfectly, because that really matters. Make sure your demo, like, in other words, refresh your tags, like, I would say, like 2 weeks before. Make sure your demo is fun and doesn't turn players away. That's basically, like, I know that's obvious, should be obvious, but again, this should not be the first contact with players during Next Fest. You should have play tested, done demos, done festivals way before this. Make sure your trailer assets are very good, because there's something called trailer TV, and like I said, they're looking at your performance in those first couple of days of Next Fest, and they're going to make the rest of Next Fest really change based off of this. Maybe do a little advertising. You don't have to do that thing where you try and get 20,000 wish lists the day before. I don't think that's going to matter as much, but I still think it's important that you contact streamers. Try and get your streamers to know about you before Next Fest, because they sometimes will make their decisions way before Next Fest about which games they're going to play during Next Fest. 10 days prior, there's a thing called press preview. Yes, do it. Before I said, remember how I said you want to shock the system with that plasma beam? I would say don't do the press preview, because you want your game to debut, and you want to do it within those 2 weeks, and you want to do it, all that stuff. Don't worry about that anymore. I don't think that, I think they saw that the optimal strategy was not to do press preview, because it took away from that plasma laser beam thing. Do the press preview. I think it is good to do the press preview. Looping stream, that live stream thing, do it if you want to, but I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters anymore. There's no benefit. There's no visibility benefit. Nothing like that. So I don't think you need to do it anymore. Okay. Separate demo page versus demo main page. I don't know, because these are the two ways you can do it. Now you can create your own page, or you think, I think it's a little extra to put that thing. I don't think it's as good to have 2 pages. I don't know. I'm still waiting on data, but my gut tells me just put your demo on your main page, because Valve said in the Q&A, they said they're going to pull most of their assets. Like when they pull screenshots, they pull the trailer, the micro trailer. They're pulling it off your main page, not your demo page. And I think it's going to be too confusing. I have a feeling there's going to be some bug or some problem where somebody's going to get linked to their demo page, but not their main. It's too confusing. I say keep it simple. Don't do a demo page. Put your button on the main page. But don't freak out if you've got the demo page. I know somebody's going to ask, well, hey, Chris, I did the demo page. Should I pull it down? No, just stop. Just stop freaking out. Don't freak out. If you've got the demo page separate, keep it up. Don't change things. Keep it calm. But if you're wondering, should I create a separate page or this, and you haven't done it yet, I'd say demo button on main page. But don't freak out if you did it the other way. Please, in general, stop freaking out. Okay? Okay. I think that's it. So I'm going to pop over and do the questions. Let's go to question mode. Here we go. Let's do this. Oh, and don't forget, for 24 hours, I'm discounting my course for $100. Click the buy $100, not $200. Discounting buy $100. Click on the offers tab, and you'll see it. Or if you're watching on YouTube, go to the button down below. Okay, let's do this. Okay. All right. All right. Should we link to the demo? Okay. What's the best strategy for demos right now? I think I answered that. I don't know. But for Steam Next Fest, I think you should just put the demo button on your main page. Don't have a separate page. I just think that it's going to confuse things. Next question. Where is the discount link for the wishlist course? It should be in offers. There's a tab button over there. It's called offers. Click it. and you should see that button there. If you can't do it for some reason, you just enter in coupon code. What was it? The coupon code was. Sorry, I hope I'm still here. The coupon code is Oct event. I think it's like. I'll link to it. You have 24 hours. Look at the YouTube channel. I'll post it in the Discord. Okay. All right. The next thing. Let's keep going through these Q&As. Let's see here. Just making sure I didn't drop out. Hopefully, you're still here. Yes, I am still here. I opened a tab and it killed my thing and I went, oh my God, and I clicked back. I tried to open the tab to see what the page was, what the URL coupon code was, and by clicking the link, it took me away from this page. Webinars are terrible. But anyway, click the offers tab. There's an offers tab, click it, but you'll get it there. Otherwise, check the YouTube. I'm going to upload immediately after this. There'll be a coupon code in the YouTube video. Okay, I'm still here. Okay. Would you translate the page to other languages to help with NextFest? Yes, you should always translate. In fact, I would recommend nowadays you should debut your Steam page with translations. That's the way you should get those translations in. Highly recommend it. I have a 1,000 wish list. My game will be on NextFest, and it'll be ready for release on November. Any advice? I'm making the Overcooked type farming game. Yep, try it. See how it does. I like these changes that I'm theorizing Valve is doing, because if your game is good, you're getting an even shot. So everybody's going to be like, I think what's going to happen, everybody in NextFest is going to get the same default amount of traffic. Like, they're just provided by Valve. Everybody's going to get some amount of traffic, and then they see how that traffic responds. So even if you're going in with 1,000 wish lists, that's not bad, assuming your game is good. Like, in other words, assuming it's playable. So I think it's good. If you're launching, I think you should do it. I think you should still do NextFest, especially if you're launching in November, releasing your game. You did it perfectly right before launch. Hopefully you can get over 1,000 wish lists. I hope you can get 5,000 wish lists during NextFest, so you get the 7,000, so you can launch into November with 7,000. When does the new algorithm start with NextFest? Starting now. Well, I mean, technically, this is the first one. They're just kind of previewing it because this will be the next one. So technically, it starts. You're going to get a developer preview where you get to see the preview page. I'm excited to see what happens, because if you have a game in NextFest, they'll open up the page to you like 10 days early and say, here's your page. That's when it's going to happen. This new algorithm starts now. Mike said, is it bad to have a demo released prior to NextFest? I may have screwed up, but I don't want to release bump from NextFest. I think you're fine. I actually think if you launched your demo before NextFest, I don't think that's a problem. I actually recommend it, because hopefully you've gotten the data. You sound like, oh my God. And you should have telemetry in there like, oh, people are dropping after that first puzzle. Oh, I must have made the puzzle too hard. Or maybe I forgot to add that extra tooltip to help them solve the puzzle. Oh, I got to fix that. And then you fix it, and now your demo flows better, because you don't want to go into NextFest not knowing how players are going to respond to it, to the demo. You got to optimize your demo to be fun. Are promotional efforts leading up to NextFest less valuable? I was previously planning on a new trailer, potentially a release date a week before the fest. It sounds like this isn't going to help during the NextFest algorithm. I don't know. I would still carry on with your plans. I still think it's good to get your game into the zeitgeist. It's awesome. Like, you should still do that promotion, because streamers will play your game. I still think, getting a streamer to play your game at any point is awesome. If you can get on their radar ahead of time, I still think you should do some promotion leading into NextFest. I just don't think it's as critical as it used to be, because it was getting insane. Like, we would have to try and get like 20 to 30,000 wish lists in a very short period of time, and we had to time it perfectly, and I never knew what the timing was. It was stupid. Before it was stupid. Hopefully it's not as bad. I still think you should do all your promotion. I think it's a great idea. Launch your trailer with a new release date. I think that's still a smart thing to do. I just think that it's not going to be as effective as it was before, but it's also going to be much more egalitarian now, so I think we're good. Okay? All right. What do you suggest embargo-wise for press preview on Steam Next Fest? I wouldn't do any embargoes. Just say, hey, our big promotions on Steam Next Fest, we're launching it. And from what I've heard, the press actually, they like the embargo just because they want to know when should they publish your thing. You don't have to be all crazy like sign this NDA to see it. You don't even talk about our game. You're just saying, hey, we're timing everything to Next Fest. We'd love it if your coverage hit at this time, but you're not embargoed from it. So don't embargo. Just tell them, hey, we really like all the press coverage coming into it. Because a lot of journalists will write 10 best demos of Next Fest. And then they'll publish it like 3 days earlier or a day of. Best demos to play at Next Fest. That's what you want. And that's what the press preview is built for. So I'm afraid if you put too many embargoes and stuff like that, the press will be like, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what's with this embargo. I'm just going to skip that. I'm not even going to put the game on my top 10 list because I don't know if I'm going to get sued by this crazy developer that's telling me about these embargoes. So just be friendly with the press and say, hey, we're doing this for Next Fest. We hope that we can get an article before Next Fest. Don't worry about embargoes, folks. Nobody's going to steal your game. Okay. What makes a successful demo? There's a talk. Search Zukowski demo. I think it's on YouTube. I did a whole talk about demos. It has to be fun. Your median playtime should be 30 to 45 minutes at least. Median playtime, not average. That's why you should put your demo out way before Next Fest to get that median playtime up. It should be fun. That's the most important thing. And it has to be a good game. That's what makes a successful demo. Also, you need to put your wish list button in 4 places. On the main menu, on the pause menu, on the quit button screen when they say, I'm going to quit. And when you beat the demo, like you get to the end of the content, like you beat the last boss in the demo, and you say, thanks for playing. The full game's unlocking soon. Here's the button to wishlist. And then when you click that button, it opens use the Steamworks API to open the game browser. Don't open a web page because you don't know if they're logged in. But if it's in the Steam browser thing, it will automatically open the right thing. Okay, from Priam, how long should a demo for an incremental idle game be? This one, I don't know. Look for idle games that have demos and play them and see if they're good and see what it is. I think my thought is for incremental games, the content should be limited. My gut says maybe like 2 hours max. And then when they end it, it says like, dun, dun, dun. Here's what you're missing by not doing the full game. You don't want them to be tired of your incremental game. You want them to feel like, it's just getting good. So that's what I would imagine. What should and shouldn't be included? The ending shouldn't be included. What should be included is a button to wishlist the game. That's what you should do. What are the KPIs to track and where on the Steam backend? On the Steam backend, there's something that says median playtime. I can't remember where it is in Steamworks. It's like I think it's on the product tab. You click the product tab and you can look at it. Look at median playtime. And everybody's like, well, my average is good. Average doesn't matter because somebody could have left their screen open and just been streaming your game all night, and then that throws off your averages. It's median. I know the median number is less, and it hurts your feelings to look at the median, but it is the most important one. You want it to be, and look at my benchmarks page, howtomarketagame.com/benchmarks, and I talk about benchmarks for demos. We did some research by looking at tons of demos and what the final launch, how much money they made compared to what their playtime was. Turns out 25 minutes or more for median playtime is ideal because if it's less than 25 minutes, there's a huge population that was like, "Ugh," and they just closed the game and left. The other thing is you should be adding your own telemetry. Don't just trust Steam's because Steam's is a little heavy-handed. Like, in other words, it's like a rolling average. So if you fix your game, you're getting averaged in with your previous times. It's best if you track your own data. You can hook up Google Analytics into your game, or I think Unity, if you're using Unity, has its own analytics package. You could also set up events to fire, like track. What percentage of people beat the first level? How many people got through the second puzzle? How many people beat the boss? How many people got to the end screen? And you can see where people are dropping off. That's not in the Steam backend. You should add that. It's telemetry. You should definitely be finding out where players are dropping out of your game. All right. I have a lot of wish lists, but how can I ride the wave with my community, be on top of Steam Next Fest? We don't know. This is all going to be new. If you have a lot of wish lists, congratulations. Your game is probably fun and attractive. My theory is that Steam's going to test that. They're going to give you 6,000 visits like they do with the... Don't hang up. Now people are going to... Forget I said 6,000. I was just doing that because that's typically what they give you for the discovery queue when you launch your game. I don't know the number. Nobody knows. Who knows? We're going to find out. But they're going to give you some block of traffic, and then they're going to see what you do with that traffic. So I don't think you can do too much. They did say there is going to be a they're still going to keep the most wishlisted, most played demos, trending games tab, but it's going to be deprioritized. It's going to be buried deep in there, and I don't think it's going to affect as much. I think you should just rally community. If you haven't launched your demo yet, launch your demo. Well, in other words, like if you haven't launched the demo yet under the new system, launch it, and then you can fire that button. You can push that button that says notify wishlisters. I would do it like 24 hours in advance. So even if you publish your demo, push the announce your game to your followers, so everyone who wishlisted gets an email that says demo is live. I do it 24 hours before Steam Next Fest. I always think it's good to go rolling into Steam Next Fest with a lot of velocity, not because everybody else that is at the top of the charts had been rolling for the 24 hours. If you do it the moment Next Fest starts, there's so much chaos, and it's like going from a halted stop versus a rolling start. It's not like it's the difference between like NASCAR where they're already moving and then they start the race versus like Mario Kart where you're stopping. You start at a stop and then you go. You want to be the rolling start. And so that's why I say like 24, 48 hours, push that button that says notify wishlisters. Okay, what is good timing for release after? It doesn't, I don't know. I wrote a blog, search my blog for when should I launch my game. Most of the time, I think people study this too much. It is the day and hour and month that you launch is not as important as indies think. Indies overanalyze that. It is not as important as the genre that you're making. Indies always like breeze right over the decision to make a game. They're like, I'm going to make this game. We're making this game. But then when it comes to like launching the game, they're like all of a sudden super analytical. People are not spending enough time deciding what game to make and spending way too long deciding what day, hour, month, whenever to launch your game. It doesn't matter as much as you want. A lot of people think, here's the next question that I get a lot. Okay, I just got a lot of velocity from Next Fest. I'm going to launch right after to capture that visibility. I'm the smartest indie. Nope, everybody had that idea. And so I did some analysis last Next Fest. Look for my blog. So I think it's called Should I Launch After Next Fest? Turns out every indie has that idea, and it's a very busy time. The 2 weeks following Next Fest, every indie's like, I'm just going to launch right after Next Fest to beat the crowd. No, the whole crowd is there. The crowd is already there. So just search my blog for launch day. You'll probably find a bunch of them, and it'll tell you some analysis I've done. It doesn't matter. It's like just pick a time when there aren't as many games like there. And there are a lot of games right after Next Fest. So don't do it right after Next Fest. It's a busy time. Do you recommend doing live stream during Next Fest, even though we don't have dedicated spots? You can if you want to. I don't think it's going to give you any extra traffic. But I don't know. I always say, here's my thought. If Steam makes something, use it. Why not? Setting up a live stream is so easy. It's for most people, it's the biggest issue is they don't want to be on camera. They're just like, do I really have to live stream? Yes, Steam's giving you free traffic for this thing, free visibility some way, even if it's reduced. Might as well use it, but it's no longer necessary. So many indies were just so... It's kind of funny, but it's kind of sad how scared indies are of live streaming. You shouldn't be that scared. I mean, it's kind of funny in the fact that it's like, I don't know. It's that personality type. That's what makes me, I think it's funny. It's the personality type of like, don't even look at me. I don't want to be on live stream. Just don't even look at me. It's not bad, folks. It's not too bad. Just get out there and do it. But it's not going to give you, it's not make or break. It used to be make or break because not make or break, but it's like, it used to be reserved to time, and then you got most of your visibility during Next Fest during those two things. It was such a stupid program that they had before to like schedule it, and it was always exploited. Somebody always figured out some hack, so I'm glad that they got rid of that. But still do it. Why not? Just do it. People are always like, Steam's not earning their 30%. And then Steam's like, okay, well, use this streaming feature. It's like, do I really need to use that? It's like, yeah, they gave it to you. They're taking your 30%. Might as well use every tool they built for you. So do it, but don't freak. If you're really scared, you're like, please, I don't even want to exist. Don't even look at me. Don't look at me. Then don't. If you're really paranoid about hearing your voice or something, don't worry about it. You don't have to do it. Come on, it's free. All right, we're making a game with a very niche audience, 3D cute Sakabon puzzle game, and sitting at a good 500 wish list. Do you think the algorithm might give us the same chance as it was before? Is that a common problem with games' small audience? Yes, it's going to be the same problem. So puzzle games, Steam just doesn't like puzzle games. I mean, I know it seems like they do, but for the most part, they don't. So what they're going to do is, and streamers also don't like playing puzzle games. Unfortunately, that's the nature of it. So what's going to happen is you're going to get those 6,000 views. No streamers are going to play it, and a bunch of people are going to be like, "Oh, that's a puzzle game." Unfortunately, I mean, I kind of like puzzle games, but it's just not the audience match. But you could do well. Who knows? But that's what's going to happen, and that's why I recommend people against making puzzle games, just because the Steam audience just doesn't like puzzle games. They just don't. That's the unfortunate truth. I'm sorry. It's not what you want to hear, but that's kind of what we're facing. Okay. But I wish I say that, but I wish you the best. I wish everybody the best. But I want to be honest with people. I'm just telling you like how it is. Don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger. Okay. But please share your data. And here's another thing. I didn't put a slide up for this. I'm really curious how this transition, because I feel like there's going to be a couple days where they're giving everybody free visibility. They're looking at the data, and then it's like a butterfly. It's going to go into its cocoon, and then Steam Next Fest is going to change maybe. I'm really curious, and I'm going to study this. What happens first couple days, how much traffic you're getting, and then after the transition to this new promotion period, what it's going to look like. I'm really curious what the numbers are looking like and what you need. So please, everybody share your data. I'm going to have a special channel on the Discord, howtomarketagame.com/Discord, where people can share their data. All right. I have 20 minutes. I'm going to try and get through all these questions. These are fantastic questions. Thank you so much for asking them. Okay. We are making a game with a very... I did that one. Is there still a press section of Steam Next Fest? And if so, should we do anything special for the press pack? Yes. Valve still said, yes, we're doing press. And the whole reason, by the way, I figured this out based on the thing. The whole reason they have that thing where it's like you can upload your demo, and then you have 2 weeks to press notify wishlisters of our demo. The whole reason there's that weird 2-week delay is because of the press preview. Because they're like, we're going to allow you to put up the demo, but it'll be secret just so the press can kind of, secret in quotes, press can do it so that you can notify your wishlisters before Next Fest. See, that's the whole reason they did the 2-week lag period that you're allowed to push the notify wishlisters is because of the press preview. So they really do believe in the press preview. Yes, they're still having it. Yes, you should participate. There's a thing where it's like, I think you can opt into press preview or not. You should definitely opt into press preview. Everybody should. It's one of those free things where people are like, Valve doesn't give us enough for our 30% that we're giving them. And they're like, well, here's this thing. It's called press preview. And then indies are like, well, should I even do this thing? Why do I have to do it for this? It's like, well, this is part of the 30% that you're paying for. You might as well use it. If you're paying for it, you might as well use this press preview thing. Use it. Now, a lot of people will then say, well, like, oh, well, I can't, my game's not ready. We're not ready for press preview. We're still uploading up to the minute. I don't know if our demo's going to be ready for press preview. Then what's my answer? Then pull out of Next Fest. You are not ready. You're not ready for Next Fest. Then pull out and do it the next one, which is, February. So do the February one. You want to go in to Next Fest feeling confident. Don't wait until the last minute. If you're not ready for the press preview, which is 10 days prior to Next Fest, then don't do Next Fest, okay? You want to be ready for this stuff. All right, what kinds of data looks to see if demo did well, time played, reviews? It's probably going to be some combination of concurrent users and median play time. That's my theory. And also it's probably those two. That's what they always kind of look at. So look at your median playtime and do your playtest. That's why I say it's very important to add those analytics that match to find out where are people dropping off. Build in analytics into your games, folks, so you can analyze, hey, when do people quit my game? And then fix it so people don't quit your demos before. Is there a way we can track the average playtime for the demo in the specific custom time, like average playtime in Next Fest? You cannot. That's why I say incorporate your own analytics so that you can analyze just those blocks period of time. The free tools that Valve gives you by default are good. It's good that everybody gets that, but it's very kludgy. In other words, you don't get that fine detail. You have to do it, so you get your work ahead of you. You've got your work ahead of you. Do it. add those analytics, Steam analytics. Just there's like Google Analytics and Unity Analytics if you're using it. Should you join NextFest if you don't have a demo? Is that even possible? It is not possible. You should do NextFest when you have a demo and you have tested it. Is there an advantage to have an actual live stream on Steam, or is it just better to have a pre-recorded live stream looped? It doesn't matter, but I would just loop it. Nobody cares if it's live. Just loop it. Loop it. Any advice for finding beta testers? The only method seems to be making a trailer on a Reddit post, but then that's already technically announcing the game. Well, you want to announce your game. The sequence is, and if you take my masterclass, which is on discount for $100 off, offers tab, find it there, is we teach you the order of things. And the order of things is you announce your game, you market it towards a demo, a beta, you do that, then you go, then you launch the demo, then you do NextFest, then you launch your game. That's basically it. We tell you how to do all those steps. But what you do is you give it to streamers. You give your beta, your demo code to streamers. Say, hey, we're doing a demo. Can you play it? And if they like your game, they will play it. If they don't like your game, they will not play it. So if they like your game, they'll play it and they say, hey, this game's accepting beta entries. Sign up for the beta at yourgame/beta. And that's what they'll do. And then that's how you get people to play your beta. All right. Assuming all indie games will use NextFest as a visibility boost to release in the next few weeks following the event, meaning lots of games releasing at the same time, how long should we wait until the release after NextFest? You use SteamDB. Go to SteamDB, click it, and look at the calendar of dates and look for, don't worry if it's a AAA game that's launching. Don't even freak out if you see a AAA game is launching at the same time as yours. The most important thing is how many games. Is this certain date got 10 people signed up to launch their game? Or does it have like 2 people? Pick the day that has 2 people. Even if it's 2 AAA games, I'd much rather, here's a question. If I were given the choice, this day A has 2 AAA games launching on the same day, or this day B has 15 indie games that are kind of medium size launching. Every single time, without question, I would launch during the day that only has 2 AAA games. It's the number of games launching, not the size of them. That's very, very important. It's a hard concept. Indies for somehow have been trained, oh, if a AAA game's launching, I can't launch that day. Oh, no. It is not that. It is the number of games, because our main visibility driver in those early days is popular, upcoming, and new and trending. And if you have lots of games launching that day, they are going to clog up popular, upcoming, and new and trending. So look for the number of games launching. Search my blog for when should I launch my game, or just Google search howtomarketagame.com, when should I launch my game. I've got at least 2 or 3 articles all about this topic. Read it there, but that's generally the thing. Assuming, let's see here. Is it worth waiting for NextFest if your game could be released well before it, or should you suggest wait for NextFest to advertise the game? And the main thing you want to do is you can't do NextFest after you launch your game. You cannot. It has to be an only upcoming game. So once you launch, you're out of you can't do NextFest. You want to do the last NextFest before you launch, because that's when your game is the best. You've had the best graphics. You've had the most play testing to make sure players finish it. Oh, and you had the most wish list going into it, most visibility. Streamers probably played it before, so that's great. You want to go in the last NextFest before launch. Do you think that some genres will be highlighted, showcased more than coming NextFest? No, I have a feeling all games will do it. And basically what Steam's saying, well, here's technically. So Valve said, we are going to tailor our recommendations on the Steam NextFest page based on what the player plays. So they look at the median play time of every genre tag, and then they look at the median time of each player to see whether that player plays more of this tag than the median play time for all of Steam. And so if somebody plays more than the median, they're like, that player really loves Open World Survival Craft, because their median play time for the Open World Survival Craft is greater than all the other tags. So that is how Steam divvies out visibility, and it sounds like they're going to use that recommendation system, which is basically how the discovery queue works as well, which is like personalized to what you play. So, but technically, there's a lot of players who really, really like deep strategic games. So yes, those games are going to get featured more because more players really like those types of games. Not as many players like puzzle games, so they're if you look across it, not as many people are going to get shown puzzle games because the Steam audience just doesn't like puzzle games as much. It's just the way it is. So, yes, I think it's going to be evenly distributed, but evenly distributed among players that have a preference, if that makes sense. Do you think that some genres will be highlighted? Steam now lets us use a separate store page for the demo. I don't know. I think I've already answered this question. If you haven't already, I would just put the demo button on the existing page. But if you already created the demo separate page, don't freak out. Don't pull it. Just let it ride. Stick with the plan. Just finish it out. I don't know. So don't change plans. Who knows? Nobody knows. Are there specificities for each different Steam Fest? Spring, summer? If so, there's no difference. There's basically no difference. No difference. Just do the next one. Do the last one before you launch. That's the most important thing. Would you recommend to launch a new edition of your demo at Next Fest to increase visibility? I think that's a good... If you can do it, I would launch a new demo so that players who've already played your demo are excited to play it again, because I think that'll start influencing the algorithm. So I do think if it's not too much work, I think it makes sense to launch a new version of the demo as part of Next Fest and advertise that. Whoa, Antonio with a full shout. How would you prepare for those 6,000 views you get for free? Make a good game. Here's what I would do to prepare for that 6,000 free views that you get. Make the best game you can. Because if your game is good, those 6,000 views will engage with your game some more, and then they'll play your game more. If your game is not good, they won't play anymore. So make a good game. Don't make a bad game, okay? I'm serious about this. You need to do well on Steam, you need to make a good game. So don't make a bad game, all right? Antonio, you going to do it? Remember, don't make a bad game. It's that simple. No bad games. Everybody, no bad games out there, right? Only good games. Good. That's what we got to do. What is the press preview? Okay, so the press preview, here's what the press preview is. The press, I don't know how you get notified of become a press person with Valve, but they give out the special version of Steam that if you're a press person, you get access to it. And basically, they turn on Next Fest for 10 days before everybody else gets it. And this is so that the press has time to play demos on their leisure. I don't know what it's going to look like. But so the press, and only games that opt into press preview. Some games are like, we're not ready for press. We're not announcing our game during that, so we're going to turn it off, and press won't see those games. Only the games that opt in the press preview. When you sign up for Next Fest, there's a checkbox somewhere that says, like, do you want to do the press preview? Yes. So the press, these people that have been given special access to Steam, can see all these games, and they will be able to preview them. It's a great thing because the press doesn't have enough time to play all these games and write about them, and so the idea is the press preview is like they will have had 10 days to play a bunch of games and then write their article of, like, top 10 games of Next Fest you should try out. That's what the press preview is. So you should definitely opt into the press preview. Now more than ever. Before Next Fest, I was like, don't worry. Now you should definitely do it. And the reason I said, don't worry about it is because the press, I'll be honest, folks, the press doesn't drive as much traffic as you think it does. The only sites that do, GameSpot, IGN, and PC Gamer, those are really the only sites. Oh, Lad Bible, but they don't really do any stuff like that. Those are really the only press sites that matter. They're the only sites that really drive that much traffic, and some Japanese sites. They're the only sites that matter. And so they don't drive that much. Maybe like 3,000 wishlists if you get really good article, which is great. 3,000 is great, but it's not like life-changing. Before, it was more important to get that 20,000 wishlists in a 1 to 2 day period. That was more important before Steam Next Fest. And when you did press preview, you were distributing that demo traffic over like a 10-day period, and then you like diffused, instead of shooting your lasers at one point, you diffused your lasers over 10 days. Now that it doesn't matter, hopefully, that you don't have to do that crazy plasma laser thing, now it makes more sense. Yeah, why not put your demo up 10 days early, get press to play it? Sure, it helps. Okay. Is it good to release your game next day after? See, I told you all. Everybody always asks this question. Read the blog. I've told you my answer about when I think you should launch it. Again, it doesn't matter as much as people think, but search my blog for my analysis of when you should launch your game after Next Fest. Do you think it makes sense to get existing community to play the demo again? Yes, it should. I highly recommend it. It's easier to sell to somebody that's a former customer than it is to sell to a new customer, so you should definitely do that. Okay. There is no offer tab. I don't know. Let me see. Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah, there's no offer tab. When I lost the page and went back, webinar software is always terrible. Okay, so the offers tab went away. apparently when I left and came back, it blew away my offer tab. Let me see if I can find it really fast. I'm not going to leave this tab. I'm going to leave this tab. Let me put the offer tab up. Still here. I just have to do some desktop work. Just 1 second. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's see here. It is this. You want to use this coupon code OCTFest24. So here's what you do. You go to you go to any howtomarketagame.com pro game marketing. That's terrible. But basically what you do, let me put this in big screen mode again. Okay. So basically what you do, let me just present this. Okay. Yeah. So here's what you do. All you do is you go to progamemarketing.com, pick this wishlist visibility, and then add this coupon code. Without, it's got an and. No. OCTFest24. If you use that coupon code, you get $100 off. I'm going to upload the YouTube video immediately after this call, so we'll do that. Okay, I have 5 minutes left. I'm going to try and hammer through as many questions as I can. Okay, about the reviews, separate page with the reviews. I don't think it necessarily helps. I don't know. I don't know data. It's such a new thing. I don't know. I think for this, just don't do the separate demo page. Just my thought. Is doing Next Fest for a 1-hour horror game a good idea? Also, is doing a beta for the same game a few months before a good idea? Just thinking it might ruin the overall experience narrative. Thanks. Yeah, I do think a 1-hour demo for a horror game is fantastic. People love it. One of the most famous demos on Earth is that PT demo that was on PlayStation. It was that horror game where you're walking through the hallways. It was awesome. The game never got made, but it was like people still talk about that demo. Horror games are fantastic for this thing. You just end on a cliffhanger, and that's the whole thing. Horror games are great about cliffhangers. Like, the monster screams in your face, and then it screams, and then it just pops up like, that's the end of the demo. Wishlist now, and you're like, holy crap, what happened? And then the full game completes the story. Yes, horror games are perfect for demos. It's just you've got to craft it the right way. Remember, folks, we got to make a good game. So don't make a bad demo. I'm being facetious. I'm joking. But I don't think there's any problem with a short. If the horror game is an hour, make a 20-minute demo. Always do like at least like a third of your game for the demo. Like the minimum, if you have an hour game, do a 20-minute demo or a 10-minute demo. It doesn't have to be long. Horror games work better in short format, so do that. Is there an easy way to find streamers for a specific genre? You just look for the game that your game is more similar to and search on YouTube to see what streamers have played it and keep a list from that. Again, this class tells you how to do that, how to find those streamers. We recently see demo in Steam Store that redirects us to the main game. Should we do this? I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know specifically what you're talking about. Sorry. Are there cases where the looping stream page is still useful? I'm in or out. I think you might as well. I just think, just do it. I don't think it causes that many problems. Steam's not going to give you anything extra for it. So do it. I say do it. I would just do the looping. Just do the looping, then your team doesn't have to manage it or anything. Just do looping. I have 18,000 wishes. Congrats, but a bunch of them are really old. Doesn't matter. Old wishes don't matter. Would you impact the presence of an event? No, it does not matter. Wishlists don't get old. This is a common trope that a lot of people think. Search my blog for "Do wishlists get old?" or something like that. This is an old like indie fear, indie ghost stories about old wishlists. Wishlists don't get old. I don't think they do. Let's see here. We got 35,000 wishlists in 4 months. Congrats. Does this mean we might get a bigger push? No, I do. Congrats on that. I do not think that means you will get a bigger push because Valve is saying we're going to give everybody the same amount. What I do think, though, if you get 35,000 wishes in a short period of time, that means your game is good. You have a good game, and it's exciting. So I think you're going to do well in Next Fest, not because of the 35,000 wishes, but because something about your game is good and fun and enjoyable. So that's what I think. You will, I hopefully, will have a good Next Fest, but that's the cause of it, is because you have an interesting game, apparently. I was told by Japanese gamers that they wouldn't play a story-driven game that is not translated to Japanese. In that case, translating the Steam page to Japanese, but not the game itself. No, it's not bad, but I'd still do it. And what Steam will do is they'll automatically put a bar at the top that says, warning, this game is not translated to Japanese, but you speak Japanese, as you've told us. Steam knows, they notify people, and I think it's very common for Japanese players. So I think they know. Do demo units matter coming into Next Fest as much as wishlists? I don't know. We don't know. So I don't know. My demo has been downloaded by 5,000 players, but only played by 500. And that's a 10%. My friend. I think you're looking at, this is a, don't look at conversion rate. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. A lot of this stuff, and this is, search my blog for FAQs about Next Fest. This is another thing that everybody always asks about. You will get a lot of demo downloads, or they call them like licenses. That means people have pinged the game. There are bots, okay? Bots go through Steam, and they just ping every game and say, I own this, I own this, I own this, I own this demo. And all they do is they do this command that flags the game as owned. They don't download it. They don't play it. They just, for whatever reason, they just want to tag every game as in their library for some. I don't even know why bots do it. So don't look at that. Don't overanalyze those numbers. Just look at median playtime. That's the important thing. Don't overanalyze data. And we'll talk about numbers when people start sharing that data, see how many actual plays you have. But look at the play number, not the download number or claims. I think they call them passes. Okay, there's a lot of questions here. Sorry. I'm not going to be able to get through all of them. I got to go right at the end of the hour. So I'm going to go for I got to go. Last question. We plan to release the day after Next Fest. Good idea? No, don't. Look at my blog. See, everybody asks this question. All right, that's all I have time for. Sorry, folks. I got to go. I'm really sorry I couldn't answer everybody's questions, but thank you so much. Offer is good for 24 hours. Look at the YouTube video that I'm going to upload to my channel just momentarily. I'll post it in the YouTube. I'll post it in the Discord. But other than that, good luck out there. Thank you so much. That's the coupon code if you can figure out how to get to the page and do that. Sorry. The offer button doesn't work. All right, bye. Thank you so much for showing up. I really appreciate all of you. Bye.